Yes.
Welcome everyone to this webinar of non-critical thinking. Today we'll be discussing regarding the critical thinking. Myself, Manju Balan. I am a commerce teacher and I teach in Bhavans Newsprint Vidyalaya, Vellore, which is in Kottayam in Kerala. Okay, so the first slide. We'll be discussing regarding the critical thinking today and how to promote critical thinking in students, among students in the classroom. That is what my topic is. Okay, this is about the resource person. Okay, the learning outcomes from this session would be like we'll understand the meaning of critical thinking. We'll understand the importance of critical thinking. We'll distinguish between critical thinking and regular thinking. And we'll identify key strategies for promoting critical thinking in classroom. The agendas remain the same as meaning of critical thinking, the difference between critical thinking and regular thinking, benefits of critical thinking for students, and how do we foster critical thinking in our classroom, and some activities to boost critical thinking. These are our ground rules. Okay, sir. Okay. Now there's a small task for you teachers. It is the task name is survival of the smartest. See if you are being in a stranded island and you have these many things, but from these only you can choose any three. Which one would you choose and why? There is knife, fire starter, emergency shelter, rock, metal pot, first aid kit, and flashlight. Choose any three, but then you have to tell me why did you choose those three? Yes? I didn't get any answer. Attendees? Hope you have understood what my question is. You have been left alone in a deserted island and you have three things that you can use from among the given things. Which one will you choose and why? Anybody?
Good evening, ma'am. I am Miss Sindhu.
Yes, ma'am.
I would have chosen a knife, fire
Yes.
starter, and a flashlight.
Ma'am, can I know why the reason why you choose a
Not
knife?
flashlight, but first aid kit.
Okay,
Knife, like for this one, defense.
Defense.
Yeah, and fire starter, like if there is if the place is very cold or something like that, I would prefer to protect myself first from that cold temperature.
Okay, ma'am.
Of course, first aid kit, because again, if there is
risk of a danger that you will get injured.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Anybody else would like to take part in it? Any other
Yes,
part?
ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, emergency shelter,
Emergency shelter,
knife,
knife.
and flashlight.
Can I know the reason why?
Emergency shelter so that I can help myself because it is having many things related with it because it is already an emergency shelter. So I think it is having so many kits related with it.
Okay.
So that's why emergency shelter, which will help me.
Yes.
Second is the flashlight because to help myself because light is necessary need for us.
Okay.
And third thing is knife so that we can help I can help myself for food
Food and
Yes,
also
definitely.
self-defense is also possible if some
And defense
issues
is also
occur.
possible.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you, Ganeshwari ma'am. Thank you. So this is not just about survival. It actually reveals the thinking pattern, our priorities, and our personal values. See, in life, we constantly we have to make choices under pressure. And for a good decision, what is involved in a good decision making is that you have to analyze the options. That is what you did now. You have to consider the consequences and you have to act with clarity. See, just like on a deserted island, life constantly asks us to make tough choices. Use whatever we have got it wisely. Whatever you have with it, you have to use that wisely. You cannot think about something that you don't have it. You have to, whatever we have it, we have to use that wisely and you have to adapt to survive. The way we think, act, and decide in these situations is exactly what is life skills are all about. Okay, then the term life skills. What are life skills? What are life skills? Okay, life skill is a skill that is necessary or desirable for full participation in everyday life. So these are the behaviors that enable an individual to adapt and deal effectively during the challenges and during the situations that demand in our life. Next slide, sir. WHO has identified 10 life skills that everyone should possess. Can I know the names, at least a few names of few among the 10? If somebody could tell it, then it would be very good for 10 slides identified by WHO. You got a glimpse of it. You can just say at least a few. 10 life skills by WHO.
Self-awareness, ma'am.
Self-awareness. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Can you just show it up? It is self-awareness, empathy, critical thinking, creative thinking, decision making, problem solving, interpersonal relationship. Then it is yes, sir. Now there are 3 more left, sir. One more click. Effective communication, coping with stress, and coping with emotions. So today we'll be discussing with the critical thinking, that life skill, that is critical thinking. Can somebody tell me what is the meaning of critical thinking, the simple meaning of critical thinking?
Think differently.
Think differently, yes. Any other answer, if I could get?
Ma'am, to think out of the box.
To think out of the box, very good. Yes, it's an ability to distinguish fact from opinion. With that help, you can make informal decisions. So you have to distinguish what is a fact and what is the message that is being given. And then you have to make a decision out of it. That is what critical thinking means. Next slide, sir. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information and experience in an objective manner. Critical thinking can contribute to health by helping us to recognize and access the factor that influences attitude and behavior, such as values, peer pressure, and the media. So we have been more or less been influenced by peer pressure and media. So all those can be, it will be this critical thinking can helps us to go beyond all those things. Okay. So there is something called regular thinking and critical thinking. Regular thinking and critical thinking. We'll just look into the next slide and find out what is regular thinking. A few examples of critical thinking in our daily life. Can somebody say we mostly do this critical thinking in our daily lives? While going to any particular place, we choose a Google Map if we are unknown about it. The Google Map also helps us in that critical thinking. It does that critical thinking. It shows us the shortest route where there is less traffic jam, etc. This is what critical thinking, and we choose that particular route. Okay. Before buying something, we look into the label of the things. We find out what are the ingredients, what many things, nutritional values, etc. on a pack of food. This is also a form of critical thinking. So critical thinking happens in our life, in our day-to-day life also, maybe knowingly or sometimes unknowingly also. Can I have the slide, sir?
Ma'am, buying something online.
Online, very good. We have been almost most of the time we have been deceived by the sellers.
Yes,
So
we check the
we have to be
reviews.
very careful enough. This is what the need of the hour is. So you choose the best route to avoid the traffic. That is one of the forms of critical thinking we do in our daily life.
Payments or bills which we are doing every day.
Yes, payments of bill that we are doing, we have to be very cautious with it. There are people who are there to grab our money. Yeah, you're fixing a gadget by identifying the issues and then finding a solution, which we normally do in our day-to-day life. If some gadgets go wrong, we make it ourselves. We'll try to mend it up sometimes to fix it. Whatever has gone wrong with it, we do with that. We find a solution for it. That is also a form of critical thinking in our day-to-day life.
Even making healthy choices, like is the food good for
Good for
me?
health or not?
Or should I
Yes,
keep
that also is
no?
a form of critical thinking, ma'am. Yeah, well
Yes.
done. Well, ma'am. Good. Yes, anything else? Yeah, planning for a month and spending accordingly, right? We as women, we do this. Even our husbands also do this. We plan for a month and we try to spend accordingly. Yeah, this is also a form of critical thinking itself. We follow a recipe accordingly, as told, as per the measurement, etc. We go with it. That is also a form of critical thinking. We read the nutritional label and then buy the product, decide to buy the product or not. That is also a form of critical thinking. Okay, let's now find out what is the difference between these two statements. One statement says seeing a news headlines and immediately believing it without checking the source or considering alternative perspective. The second statement says reading a news article, researching the topic further to verify information, considering potential biases of the author, and framing an opinion based on evidence. Now, which is regular thinking and which is critical thinking?
First is regular, and I think second one is critical.
Very good, ma'am. The first one is regular and the second one is critical. Now, is there some other differences that you can make it out between critical thinking and regular thinking?
Ma'am,
Recently, parenting. Parenting is a very critical topic right now nowadays, I think.
Yes. Yes.
ma'am, people can get manipulated.
People can get manipulated through regular thinking, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Bad decisions also.
Yes. Which is which thinking happens fast and which thinking happens slow?
Normal thinking happens fast.
Yes. Regular thinking happens very fast, whereas the critical thinking is little more deliberately done. It is very slow in nature, right? So that is the difference between regular thinking and critical thinking. Okay, in both of them you find a news article, but in the first regular thinking you just believe in it without looking into its authenticity, etc. But in the second one, you try to find out whatever is said is right or wrong, and then you give an opinion of yours. That is what critical thinking is, and these are things that our children should also know about, and that is why critical thinking happens to be a very important in a students, and that is what we need to do, promote the critical thinking among the students in our classrooms. Okay. Next slide, sir. Yeah, why is critical thinking important? Okay, the critical thinking is important because of these, not only because of these 5 reasons. These are the basic requirement for critical thinking. That is, first one, it helps to improve the decision making. Second one, it enhances problem solving ability. Third one, it refines your research skills. Fourth, it polishes your creativity. And fifth, it stimulates your curiosity. If you are a critical thinker, naturally the curiosity will generate. Let's just dive deep into the importance of critical thinking. The first one says it allows a student to decipher the problems and think through the situation in a disciplined and systematic manner. Now, what does it mean that the student, if through critical thinking skills, the student break down the complex problems to understand what is really going on, and this critical thinking actually encourages this children to analyze the situation carefully instead of jumping into the conclusion. This through critical thinking, actually, the children learn to think in a very disciplined way. When I say disciplined way, they have to follow the logical steps and avoid emotional decisions. Okay. The second importance is through critical thinking ability, a student can comprehend the logical correlation between distinct idea. Two different ideas, he can correlate those two different concepts. Okay. When a student is using this critical thinking, he just does not just absorbs the fact. He looks for the pattern, he looks for what is the relation, he looks for the meaning, etc. In our classrooms, we do teach regarding the demand and supply, which is one concept. We teach another concept called consumer behavior. Okay, I'm a business studies teacher, so I go into these terms. So the two concepts, that is the demand and supply as well as the consumer behavior, are two different things. Now, the child will go through critical thinking, the student will try to understand how this consumer behavior is going to influence the demand and supply. So he's going to correlate between the two different concepts through critical thinking, right? The third one is that the student is able to rethink and re-justify his belief and ideas based on facts and figures. Now, critical thinking actually encourages the student to question his own assumptions and beliefs. He does not blindly believe on what they think, blindly accept what they think, etc., or what they have heard. He just tries to evaluate information using maybe evidences or through logical or some reasoning methods. He tried to evaluate the information. Like once again, I take an example from my own subject. Advertising. A child feels that, or child believes, the student believes that advertising, only through advertising the sales increases. But then he goes through the case studies and then he finds out that it is not only the advertisement that helps to boost the sales, but also it is the product quality or maybe the demand in the market has led to the increase in the sales. So he is able to rethink and re-justify his beliefs and ideas based on the facts and figures. Yes, so next slide, please. Critical thinking skills make the student curious about things that are around him. So actually, critical thinking is not about just finding the answers. It is also about asking questions. When the student develops these critical skills, they try to wonder why the things are the way they are. And they try to become more observant, more questioning, and more eager to understand the world around them. So they are very curious about what is happening around them. The next is that a student who is a critical thinker is creative and always tries to come up with out-of-the-box solution to intricate problems. And what you said, you can think out of the box. If you're a critical thinker, you will be creative, you will think out of the box, you will think in a way where others don't think at all. So you don't follow the usual way of doing things. Actually, if you're a critical thinker, we don't do the things as others are doing. We analyze the problem deeply. We think about it in different angles, and then we use through the informations, etc. We try to bring out a very unique solution. So you can enhance your creativity and you can solve your problems in a different way through critical thinking. The last importance is that critical thinking skills assist in the enhanced student learning experience in the classroom and prepares the student for lifelong learning and success. See, critical thinking transforms the classroom into a place from a place that can be a passive learning environment to an environment that is filled with curiosity, with creativity, with engagements, etc. So it empowers the student to think think, question, and to explore and grow. So the learning process becomes for him a lifelong learning itself. Okay, so these are some of the importance of critical thinking. Okay, now there are some questions been given in the next slide. Try to find out what type of skills can the children develop if such questions are asked in our classrooms. So next slide, please. There are 3 questions been given on your screen. The first questions. If you could design a new school, if you could design a new school subject, what would it be and why?
Ma'am, if I could design a new subject, it would be financial literacy for the children, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Financial literacy. Yes. Any other answers, please?
Cybercrime also, because right now cybercrime is increasing.
Yeah, that is also very much in demanding nowadays, and that is required for the children nowadays.
AI also. AI is also required.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
already implemented by NEP,
Yeah,
but
it
need
has
to
been
enhance.
implemented. As a skill subject, it has come to many of our schools. Many of them have opted for it. Yeah. The second question is, you can pick one extracurricular activity this year. How would you decide which one is best for you?
I think according to the place or atmosphere of your school, you have to choose that extracurricular activity as per your students. So I think it should be area wise, because each and every school and district is having different types of people.
Now, if I ask you, Ganeshwari ma'am, which one will you choose this one extracurricular activity this year? Which one will
As
be?
per I'm concerned, because I'm dealing with the village area people.
Yeah.
So I think I have to choose more critical thinking related with English language, because they are suffering from that. So I try to enhance the extracurricular with English, fun with English.
Okay. Any other answers if I could get, I will be really happy.
Communication skill.
Communication skill.
Oration could be one of them.
Okay. Okay.
TED Talks can be there.
Yeah, I didn't hear you, ma'am.
TED Talks.
TED Talks. Yes, TED Talks. Yes. Okay, we go to the third question. Your school library is always crowded during lunch break, and many students can't find a place to sit. What simple solutions would you suggest?
Ma'am, I would segregate compartment wise, KG to first standard in a separate place, and compartment wise, when we segregate the children, they will automatically find place to sit and read, and they can also utilize the library much effectively.
Some other solutions?
Ma'am, time slot or rotations also we can do.
Yeah, rotation wise is good. Yes. Yes.
Or
Any
even classroom reading corners, ma'am.
Reading corners, yeah. Okay. So these 3 questions, see, the first one is that if you could design a new school subject, what would it be and why? It is actually, you are enhancing the creativity in the children when you pose such questions. The creativity has been enhanced. The second one is that you pick up you can pick one extracurricular activity this year, and how would you decide and which one is best for you? Here, actually, you are making a decision. So it is the decision-making ability has been generated. The last one is that your school is crowded during the lunch, school library is crowded during the lunch break, and what is the solution you would suggest for? Here, you are solving a problem-solving skills. So actually, these 3, the creativity, the problem solving, and decision making. These three are interrelated to critical thinking itself. So critical thinking actually is a cornerstone of effective problem solving. So critical thinking is actually connected to both decision making and creative thinking. The creative thinking has only one goal. Either it will be to solve a problem or it will be to arrive at a decision. Okay. And this 21st century skill, that is a critical thinking skill, enables a person to think rationally and logically in order to reach a possible conclusion. Okay. Now let us jump into the next, where we find the strategies that we can adopt in our classrooms in order to promote critical thinking. Yes, sir. Next slide, please. The first one is Socratic questioning. Actually, this method, these are only few methods that I have been suggesting for. There are many methods where you can enhance your critical thinking among the children. I only go with the 4. Socratic questioning is actually named after the Greek philosopher Socrates, who used to use this technique to engage in philosophical discussions. Okay. So this is a method of inquiry used to stimulate critical thinking, challenge assumptions, and promote deeper understanding. Now, say, for an example, if I say this Socratic questioning, instead of asking, what is the capital of France? You can ask, why do you think Paris became the capital of France? So the child will start thinking, why Paris became? So he will try to find out more information regarding it. And then he'll find out that, yes, it is right that Paris became the capital of France. So this is a Socratic questioning method. The second one is like problem-solving activities. Problem-solving activities, you have to present a real problem and ask your students to brainstorming solutions can be asked by the students to make some brainstorming solutions, etc. So the problem solving activities actually analyze information, evaluating alternatives, and making recent decisions. Okay, so the next slide, please. Problem solving activities. This will involve analyzing information, evaluating your alternatives, and making a reasoned decision. So the child first will get all the information. From that, he will try to find out which all the alternatives will be evaluated for solving that particular problem, and then he will make a decision to solve that particular problem. Okay, the one that you did for the third question, that is the school libraries overcrowded and does not have, and people don't find a place in that to sit and read the book. You found a solution for it. So we will try to analyze the information and evaluate the alternatives and make recent decision. Now, can I have another, can you give me some other questions where the problem is there and the child will try to find it out through analyzing the problem. The child will try to go through these problem solving activities. Anything from your subject, please? Okay, like if there is a science teacher, I'm not that familiar with science, but still the primary educations have actually taught me that, like you can ask the children to investigate whether the plant grows faster in a natural light or in an artificial light. You can ask the children to look to make an experiment over it, and then they'll try to find out which plant is growing faster, whether it is in the natural light or in the artificial light. So these are some of the questions that you can put forth so that the children solve the particular problem. These are problem solving activities which will boost the critical thinking among the students. Okay, next slide. From these pictures that are given, can you tell which method would be this too? Which methods? This is a common method which we mostly have been very familiar with this method.
Debating or group discussion?
Yes, debating and group discussion. So what is the advantage of debates? Conducting a debate? Conducting a debate actually helps a participant to analyze, argue, and to evaluate different viewpoints on a given topic, isn't it? And it also helps the children to critically think. Their argumentation skills also develop, and they have a deeper understanding of the particular topic. So debates and discussions help the students in also in critical thinking. Now, if I ask you one debatable question or a debate or a topic for discussion, it can be debatable. If we take a debatable question like, should homeworks be mandatory? Can I have opinions for and against it?
Yes, ma'am, I feel homeworks are mandatory. If
Yeah.
homeworks are not given, we cannot assure that all the children will utilize the time after the school hours.
Yes.
Very few will be sitting at home and reading their books, but many of the children will be spending their time with their mobile phone, all those other gadgets that they have at their home. So if we give some work, it is a compulsion, at least for the teachers, they have to take books, read, study, prepare, research, all these things to be done by the children. If
Yes,
not,
ma'am.
they will be left alone and they will not be concentrating with their academics at all after the school hours.
After the school hours. Yes, ma'am. Very well.
Ma'am, homework also build discipline and study habits also.
Study habits. There'll be regular study habits.
Yes.
Anybody who would go against the homework being mandatory? Because
Yes, ma'am. Right now, bagless days are mandatory made by the CBSE. So
Yes.
this is a debate. They have made 10 bagless days because it's actually a burden for the students to cope through. So that we can say ki, and now NEP wants ki reduce the burden of the students. So that is the thing.
So whatever is done should be done in the class itself, right? The learning process should happen only in the class. That is what that can be also said. So these such type of debatable topics can be put in front of the children, and this will the children will come to know regarding the not only debates but also discussions can be open discussions can be also being conducted, which will help to improve the critical thinking skills among the students. Next is creative thinking exercises can be done. That is the next strategy that can be used for promoting critical thinking. Creative thinking exercises actually encourage the students to develop problem solving skills, think out of the box, and engage them deeply with the subjects, etc. So the children will try to analyze, evaluate, and generate new ideas. Okay. So the next is a creative thinking exercise. So the next slide, please, sir. Yeah, it will encourage the creativity. Encouraging creativity helps the students to solve the problems, thinking out of the box, and be deeply engaged with the subject. Now, one of the general topics that can be used for creativity, you can use it for your subject according to the subject's wise, etc. But then one general question that can be posed for improving the creativity, like the pens that we use, the ball pens that we use, can anybody tell different uses of this ball pen apart from writing? What else can we use this pen apart from writing? Creative
It can be
answers?
converted into wind chime also. And
It can be
secondly, it
converted
can
into
be wind chimes.
yes.
Where wall hanging pieces can be made, or ma'am,
Decorative
we
items,
can
yeah.
create a tray, like putting all the pens, if they are like once they are use and throw pens, we had made a tray out of it.
Yes, you can make pencil stands, yeah.
Yes, pencil stand or the trays.
Trays, yes.
The support material can be a paper, and on that you can just put all these pens, which can be used as a holding tray.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Photo
even
frames as well.
like pass the pen to answer the question in a game also.
Game
Asking
can
game.
be done with the help of the pen, yes. Any other thing that can be done with this pen, apart from writing and apart from journaling, etc.? Some other thing?
Sometimes it can be used as a paper weight.
We use it as a bookmark, ma'am. Sometimes we keep it in the book.
Yeah, bookmark, gift.
Gift.
Yes.
Any other?
Ma'am, it can be used for braiding the hair also.
Braiding the hair, yeah. I thought, why did nobody said that?
I usually do that, ma'am. So
most of us do it during these hot days. Naturally, we put a bun for our hair, and then we secure it with this pen, right? Okay, that can. So these are some of the ways in which, I mean, see, for a simple pen, we have found many creative things that we can do with the pen. In this way, creativity can be also enhanced through this type of creative thinking exercise. You can make this children boost their critical thinking also. Okay. So this is all about the critical thinking strategies. Now, I would like to know where any one strategy which you are planning to use in your classrooms in order to boost the creativity, critical thinking among the students. Can I have any one strategies besides what I have said? Any other strategies that can be used to boost the critical thinking, which you have done in your classrooms or which you plan to do in the classroom? If anybody could share that, it would be wonderful.
Ma'am, I usually do for the titles. For example, as I'm an English teacher, so they usually uh, are struggling with the titles. So I usually ask them ki, think about the titles. Why the title is there with the story or with the poem? And also, as I'm a big business studies teacher, so I usually ask them to for the sales our products. How would you sell your product? So give some critical thinking and ideas related with it. So such type of questions we are already doing.
Okay. Any other ways in which we can boost the critical thinking? Attendees? Something which you have already done or something which you are planning to do in the classroom?
We can ask them to create a chain of words with a principle that, okay, what next? That way we can do.
Okay. So,
ma'am, riddles can be given related to the
riddles,
topic.
yes,
And
riddles can be given.
Ma'am, real or imaginary problems also we can give the students to solve.
Real or imaginary problems can be given. Problems, really, real life situations can be given to the students, posed before the students, and ask them to think about it and give a solution for it. Yes. Okay. So these are some of the strategies. So let's recap what we have learned today. Sir, next slide, please. We learned what is critical thinking, meaning of critical thinking. We learned the difference between regular thinking and critical thinking. We learned why it matters or what is the importance of critical thinking and some of the strategies for promoting critical thinking. Okay, with that, I wind up the session. If I could have the feedbacks from the attendees, it would be very helpful for me.
If someone has any query, you can come forward to ask the resource person. We would feel really happy to answer your queries. Yes. We are getting good evening. I mean, super wonderful, very nice, interactive. No queries. I thought it is critical thinking, so we'll be having so many queries. Yes. Now, let me welcome someone to come forward and give your feedback, a verbal feedback, proper feedback to the resource person. That would be really great.
So I think she was quite interactive and able to analyze and recognize the problems and day-to-day problems which we are already analyzing. So I think Manju ma'am was very well done. Thank you so much, ma'am, to
Thank you so
really
much, Nandini
critically
ma'am,
analyze
for
it.
motivating me.
And we have actually critically analyzed it.
Yes. Thank you, Gyaneshwari ma'am. Anyone else?
Though I could not attend whole of the session, but still I feel from the point where I started on, the most appreciable point was that she engaged everybody in the session, and that was engaging. And when she put up questions, she forced us to think and then of a situation and respond. So that way she has achieved her target.
Thank you,
Great.
Pranam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
also for participating.
Thank
And
you
we
so
need
much,
to
ma'am.
support each other.
Yeah, we need to support each other, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the insightful session today. Your presentation was really clear, engaging, and very relevant to our needs. We
Thank you,
really
ma'am.
appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your motivating words, ma'am.
So, as you all know, now how can I just keep quiet? So, indeed, it was a very interactive session, Ma. Firstly, and second thing is that the content was delivered in a very authentic manner without giving some space for the participants to think. That is the first and foremost thing which I would like to appreciate. And second most thing is that the next thing is that the quality of a best resource person is to always ensure that you are reaching out to each and every person. And I believe you have tried your level best to reach out to each and every participant who was in the session today. So lots of appreciations from the end of SNTTC also to you. And dear participants, as you are seeing, we are here with wonderful sessions. And those who wish to stay informed about these sessions can join our WhatsApp group. I am sharing the link in the chat. Our webinar group, you people can join so that on daily basis, the information about the webinars are going to be shared in this particular group. So when you join this group, you will be informed about, you will be receiving on daily basis, the link and the poster of sessions which we are conducting. Now coming on to the next part, as in how you are supposed to claim your certificate. Our sessions are open for everyone to join. But if you want a certificate for the session you are joining, you need to pay rupees 50 to the phone number which I am writing in the chat, 9908925730. Okay, 9908925730. You have to pay rupees 50 either through Google Pay, Phone Pay, or Paytm to this particular number, and you have to share the screenshot of your payment to the same number through WhatsApp. And also send your complete name as you want on the certificate. Within 24 hours, we will be generating your certificate and we'll be sending it to you through WhatsApp indeed. Hope I was clear with this part also. And I believe that's all for today. Let us meet in an upcoming session with more energy and with more, adaptability to learn. Thank you one and all. Thank you, Manju ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for motivating me also, encouraging me. It was only because of you that I could do this.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.